What you're about to hear is declassified information from a file once sealed under the highest levels of secrecy. This is the story of Project Chimera, Philo for Beta, and the horrifying incident that shut it down forever. It all started in 1998, deep within a secure military research facility. The brightest minds were gathered for a groundbreaking and frankly audacious experiment. The Temporal Displacement Projector, or T. No, this wasn't a time machine in the way we think of them from movies. Its purpose was far more practical, and in its own way, far more sinister. The TDP wasn't built to send people through time. Its mission was to predict the future, specifically the immediate future state of inanimate objects. Imagine a device that could show you exactly how a steel bulkhead would buckle under stress, how a concrete wall would crumble during a blast, or where the weakest point on an enemy tank's armor would be just seconds before impact. The tactical advantage would be immeasurable. You wouldn't just be reacting to damage, you'd be anticipating it, exploiting weaknesses that hadn't even formed yet. The early tests were promising. The TDP, a massive assembly of humming capacitors and crackling energy coils, would fire a low-energy beam at a target, say, a simple wooden chair. On a nearby monitor, a ghostly, shimmering image would appear. This image showed the chair a few moments into the future, perhaps with a leg splintering under a simulated weight it hadn't yet experienced. The projections were accurate, consistent, and incredibly valuable. For weeks, the team documented their successes, projecting the future state of everything from sheets of metal to solid blocks of reinforced concrete. The project was hailed as a monumental success in the making, but everything changed on log 44-7. The lead physicist on the project was a man named Dr. Elias Vance, brilliant, obsessive, and driven by a relentless desire to push the boundaries of what was possible. On that fateful day, Vance was attempting to recalibrate the TDP for a higher degree of temporal resolution. He wanted to see further, clearer. He believed the system could handle more than just simple, inanimate matter. He theorized it could process more complex systems, but the energy requirements were immense. According to the log entries from his junior researchers, Vance became increasingly frustrated with the machine's limitations. He bypassed several safety protocols, convinced he was on the verge of a breakthrough. Alone in the main testing chamber, he manually adjusted the focusing lens of the projector. What happened next is a subject of panicked, fragmented reports. It's believed that as he leaned in to fine-tune the emitter array, he slipped, or perhaps made a fatal miscalculation. The beam, meant for a solid block of lead across the room, was instead activated while focused directly on him. The system wasn't designed for biological matter. It wasn't built to process the trillions of complex, interacting systems that make up a human being. The moment the beam hit Dr. Vance, the entire facility's power grid flickered. The TDP's sophisticated sensors were instantly overloaded. The main monitor, which usually displayed a clear, ghostly projection, erupted into a blizzard of digital snow and shrieking white noise that blasted through the lab's speakers. The system was crashing hard. For a few agonizing seconds, the team in the control room could only watch in horror as the static pulsed and screamed. And then, for just 1.2 seconds, the chaos on the screen coalesced. The static resolved into a single, terrifyingly clear and utterly silent image. It was a projection of Dr. Elias Vance. But it wasn't the Vance they knew, standing hollow and healthy in the chamber. This was Vance in the future. He wasn't old or decayed. He was broken. The image showed him pinned beneath a tangled mess of collapsing machinery, twisted steel beams and shattered concrete. His face, visible amidst the wreckage, was bruised a deep, dark black. His eyes were wide open, unblinking, locked in an expression of pure, unadulterated terror. And his mouth was stretched wide in a silent, impossible scream. A scream that no one could hear, but everyone could see. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, the image vanished. The monitor went black. The TDP's core overloaded and melted down with a final, deafening bang, plunging the chamber into darkness and acrid smoke. Emergency crews rushed in. They found Dr. Vance on the floor, unconscious from the electrical surge, but physically unharmed. He had no memory of the event, no idea what his machine had just shown the world. The project was terminated immediately. The official report cited a catastrophic power failure and unacceptable operational risks. The TDP was dismantled, its blueprints were burned, and everyone involved was forced to sign non-disclosure agreements, so restrictive they were practically threats. The entire incident was buried, sealed away in a file cabinet, forgotten. Project Chimera was over. But that's not where the story ends. The truly chilling part of this file isn't the description of the accident itself. It's the very last entry. Before the archive was sealed and the project erased from history, a junior researcher, one of the people who saw that 1.2-second vision, scrawled a frantic handwritten note and attached it to the file. It's a note that recontextualizes the entire event, turning a tragic accident into a prophecy. I'll read it to you verbatim. Log 44 Phenol. The project is shut down. They're taking everything. Dr. Vance is alive. He's recovering in the infirmary. The official story is a surge. They're telling us what we saw was a system glitch, a digital hallucination caused by the overload. They're lying. We all saw it. It was too clear, too perfect. They keep saying the machine was showing a potential future, a warning. But they don't understand what the TDP does. It doesn't show you what could be. It shows you what will be. That image. It wasn't a warning. It was a recording. We saw his end. We saw the exact moment of his death. Vance is alive now, but the image remains burned into our minds. We saw his end date, and it is still approaching. Think about that. Dr. Elias Vance walked out of that laboratory a man with a death sentence. A man who had seen his own horrific end, even if he couldn't remember it. And for his colleagues, every day they saw him walking the halls, talking, working, living, was a grim countdown. They knew how he would die. They knew it would be violent, and they knew it would be under a pile of collapsing machinery. They just didn't know when. The future was set. The recording had been made, and the clock for Dr. Vance was ticking. The file gives no further information on what became of him. His ultimate fate remains officially unknown. But for those who saw the image, they knew his story wasn't over. It was just waiting for its final, terrible scene to play out. Thanks for tuning in to this Declassified report. If you find these hidden stories as fascinating as I do, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more dives into the archives of the unknown. Stay curious.